KUGAN CASSIUS fly from London. We're at the Intercontinental Hotel here in London for the Matchroom Sports announcement of the signing of Olympic gold medalist Luke Campbell. Everyone said it was going to be Joshua and Chisora, Hay, Kevin Mitchell. It was Luke Campbell, which I already knew anyway.
You did know. You were one of the few that knew. We did well to keep this one quiet, actually, because normally it gets out. But no, there was a lot of speculation. I think the story broke last night, but everyone, you know, Hay, Chisora, Joshua, maybe we'll get one of those in the next week or so.
Right, we haven't had this conversation off camera, so are you telling me there's a potential new signing coming to Matchroom in the next couple of weeks?
There'll be a new signing coming to Matchroom in the next couple of weeks.
So why haven't you told me about this then?
Because I'm sick and tired of having, you know, it's that same thing. Remember with the hands? It's like you've got too much information. And I think someone like you is dangerous with too much information.
What do you think I'd do with that information?
Don't know, but it's there, isn't it? It's ability, it's artillery to shoot me down with if I don't give you enough Haribos or anything like that. You could sulk and say, well, he's signing David Hay anyway, you know.
Well, we'll see when this interview ends, because I generally do want to know who you're signing. And I know you're going to tell me, and you know you're going to tell me.
I don't actually know yet, but it just could be one of those.
You spoke about the crossover appeal Luke Campbell's going to bring to boxing as a whole and to Matchroom Sport. He's already well known. I mean, aside from the Olympic gold medal, like I said, Dancing on Ice is a very well watched programme, and you know, when you were talking a lot of a sense actually. Usually I just listen to you just talking, going through the motion, talking bollocks. But today you was actually what you said about Luke Campbell, that the people that don't like boxing are saying to you, oh look, you know, Luke Campbell, oh, we're going to watch it anyway, and hopefully they come to a show of yours or watch it on Sky, and they're hooked in by it, which is the name of the game, surely. Yeah,
I mean, like I said before, it's a great day for Luke and a privilege and great day for Matchroom, but it's a great day for boxing because, you know, when you go to Hull and you see the response that this kid has in his own city, and it's not just blokes like us, it's young kids, it's grandmas, it's middle-aged men, you know, it's such a wide appeal. And the only way you can grow the sport is to get those different genres, get the different audiences to come and watch and support. And when you get them there, make them happy, you know, make them have a great time. So for Luke Campbell, I think boxing has a great opportunity to grow. And, you know, he can do that. Obviously, the Olympic gold medal was fantastic on BBC, huge fan base. He's an MBE. But again, Dancing on Ice, although we ribbed him about it, served a great purpose. You know, he has a huge fan base now, potentially bigger than any other fighter in the UK. And I know that's difficult for, you know, a lot of the guys who will watch this because the hardcore boxing fans can fathom. But Luke Campbell is already a huge name. And now we've got to give him the platform to succeed as a professional.
You've announced, is that Luke? That was Luke. You've announced also Tommy Cole to fight Derry Matthews, which also I knew about, you told me the other day. That's a great fight in Hull, very popular in Hull is Tommy Cole. I understand the Twitter banter has already begun, and it's just, you know, it's just been put public to people. So an interesting fight for the Commonwealth lightweight title.
Tommy Coyle against Derry Matthews will end up being a huge fight for that reason. The banter on Twitter started, and it is a great fight stylistically as well. Tommy's very, very exciting to watch. So's Derry. And, you know, you've got a young fighter coming up in Tommy Coyle and someone who's already established in Derry, and, you know, he's boxing better and better, I think, as time goes on. So we've got that one. Obviously, Lee Selby is the mandatory for Samir Mamoune. He doesn't want the fight, but maybe we can box Samir in a big fight. And also talking to Kell Brook this morning, it looks like this will be the bill where Kell Brook will make his return just an hour from Sheffield as well. So we're going to build a massive night of boxing in Hull. Obviously, Luke will be the pinnacle of that, but, you know, he will be in a 6-round fight. It's a celebration in his own city of his journey just starting. But we can't just put on a couple of other 4- and 6-rounders. We're going to build a huge card. It's going to be a huge outdoor event. We think we're going to get around 15,000 there to watch. And, you know, like I said, I've not seen support like this in someone's home city since the like of Ricky Hatton. It's that big, it really is.
If Kell Brook is to fight on the undercard of this show in Hull, will it be sort of a fight just to get him back into the thing, like maybe even a 10-rounder?
Yeah, it probably will be a 10-rounder because we're looking to sling him in a big fight in September. But I want to keep him active. I want to give him something to focus on. And, you know, he's still training at the moment. He's working on his strength. He's cycling. He's rowing. Nothing on the foot as of yet. But, you know, in probably June time or middle of May, he'll be ready to start working on a foot again. So I want to get him out. I don't want him to wait all through summer. I want to get him out in a 10-rounder here in Hull. And then I want to get him out in September in a huge fight at the arena.
If Lee Purdy knocks Devon Alexander out and then Lee Purdy is to face his #1 mandatory Kell Brook in September, who would you want to win that fight?
Do you know when you put any two fighters together, and I know you're trying to ask me a difficult question, but this is the honest truth, that's the most difficult thing as a promoter to do when you've got two kids in there who you really, really like and you really want to do well. And I actually haven't experienced that yet. I mean, I've experienced nights like, you know, Danny Connor against Chris Evangelou, which Danny's not really my fighter, but I like him a lot and stuff like that. But when you put that kind of fight on, you almost sling him in and say, listen, the best of luck to you. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't sit there and honestly say I'd want him to win or I want him to win. I'd want the best man to win. And I know you think that's setting on the fence, but that is hand on heart my honest answer. Do you know what I mean? If Lee Purdy fought Kell Brook and won, he deserves everything he gets. And same with Kell.
But do you know you're allowed to sit on the fence? It's not like you don't have to answer them. It's, you know.
I don't believe in sitting on the fence if the truth is out there. But honestly, when I will, and the time will come when two of my fighters will fight each other. I know it will, but I will sit there and I will be totally neutral, and I will just sit there and say, "Good luck to you, may the best man win." I know people think that's a load of bollocks, but that's how I feel.
I wouldn't blame you for fencing on that one because they're both your fighters, and I know you generally do like both of them. So, George Groves, Foe Gonzalez, Alcoba. Decision to take this fight for George come about through
looking down the rankings, looking for a decent tough fight. Obviously, the knives will be out for the opponent because it's not Andre Ward, it's not Robert Stieglitz. We looked through the rankings, we looked down BoxRec. I think Gonzalez is 29 or something like that. And other names people mentioned, Jermaine Taylor, not interested in a fight, happy to sit and wait for a world title. Dimitri Sartazan, got fairly close with him. He had promotional issues. Maxime Vlaslov, he was offered the fight, no. Yeah, I had a conversation with a guy from Eastside Boxing on Twitter yesterday. I said, look, tell me a fighter ranked between George and Noe Gonzalez, and I'll tell you why that fight couldn't be made. Gonzalez is, like I said, 29 or 30 on BoxRec, 11 in the WBC. He's a huge puncher. Yes, George is the favourite, but in my opinion, it's a decent fight. Adam Booth thinks it's a competitive fight, and so do I. Of course, when we first announced George Groves, it was chief support, but since then we added Bellew Chilemba, and you know, it's probably made people think, oh, you know, Groves against Gonzalez. We was expecting a bigger fight, but you know, we did add another big fight to the card. We've got other fights to add. We've got some international content to come as well, and I think Groves against Gonzalez will be exciting. Gonzalez is a banger.
Stopped by Adonis Stevenson in a couple of rounds, and he's lost a split decision to Felix Sturm as well, hasn't he?
Correct. 2 defeats. Felix Sturm fight come very early in his career. He lost on points to Sturm. Adonis Stevenson is a huge puncher, and actually well avoided. And we got that fight with Carl Frost. Don't particularly fancy that fight. No one really wants to fight Adonis Stevenson. So losing a couple of rounds to him is not the end of the world. People have done it. I'm not saying he's Andre Ward, but he is, you know, 30-2 with 24 knockouts, and he's very acceptable in my opinion.
What's the situation with Darren Barker and Chavez fight? Are you any closer to making that happen?
Not really. We're waiting to hear from Top Rank. We've had a little chat with them. I think they've got a few issues to sort out with Chavez. I don't believe an opponent's been named yet. So no news. But obviously we've got a big eye on Martin Murray this weekend, and you know, got some big plans for some big shows. One potentially in Manchester towards the end of June, early July.
Who's going to headline that?
I can't tell you at the moment.
So this is obviously might have something to do with someone else you're signing.
Yeah, it might do. but it's not happened yet, so I don't want to curse anything or jinx anything, but we've got a really big finish to the season coming up, you know, in June and July. Obviously that show I'm talking about, and also July the 13th or the 6th in Hull, and obviously a big May as well.
I put a picture of you on my Facebook when me and you were in the car, and it had a flood of comments from female admirers saying Eddie is as fit as, Eddie is a salt. I wouldn't, you know, out Eddie out of bed.
I'm too old for all that sort of stuff, Coog. You know,
I'm just giving you. No, I'm just telling you.
It's very complimentary, and it's not something I particularly hear a lot of these days as I'm moving into my older years. But
is it nice to know the old boy still has it?
The old boy's still got game. This is what I'm trying to say. I was trying to play it all down, and I was trying to pretend that, you know, it's all very nice. But let's be honest, Coog, the old boy is still doing it. No.
You know what? I was like, these are people I know, and it was my picture, but they're commenting on you. And it was like literally a flood of them, women.
It was a flattering picture. I don't really look like that. It was a bit sort of side profile, you know, a little bit moody. And you Instagrammed it a little bit to make it look, you know, but, you know, I'm not really that good looking, Coog, as you can see.
If I'd taken a picture on our journey home, I don't think they would have felt the same way, because that's probably the roughest I've ever seen you look. I always see you looking absolutely stunning and impeccable. On the way home, you look like you've literally been dragged through that bush.
Yeah, but you know what? After a show, I never sleep. So I always go back, I'm on Twitter, I'm thinking, and we left early, I had like 3 or 4 hours kip, didn't sleep very well, come out, barnets all over the place. It was a long old drive back, wasn't it? And, you know, I mean, I drove you back for 4 hours.
You drove me up there for 4 hours as well.
On a Sunday. Too nice to you, boy.
Indeed. Have you got anything else to tell us? Any bit of news, anything we can look forward to? Any rumours that you want to put to bed?
Rumours to put to bed.
Oh, I'll ask you some questions. You just tell me. What's the situation with all the fighters that are being linked with Matchroom Sport, i.e. Kevin Mitchell, Anthony Joshua, Derek Chisora? What can you make any comment on any of these people?
Yeah, we've spoken to some of the names that you've mentioned. You know, I want to make sure that I can deliver the promises for my fighters. Sometimes if you take too many fighters on, that'll be a problem. I'll never get to that stage because I won't let them down. But some of the names you mentioned too, yes, we are speaking to them, and I would expect, well, we'll definitely make another announcement in the next 2 weeks. You know, we want great fighters, and, you know, this is, I tweeted the other day, you know, don't make changes for a short-term fix, play the long game, and that is what we're doing. We're 6, 7, maybe 8 months into something that we're trying to do, something we believe in, and we're building a formidable team of boxers, and I believe that in the next 6 to 12 months we will have just a phenomenal team, probably one of the strongest in world boxing, and then I think we've got a real chance to move this sport forward. And people like Luke Campbell, you know, can be the epicentre of that movement and can really give you a chance to grow the game, because the bottom line is if we don't grow the game, we're not going to succeed and we're not going to move the sport forward. It needs to be grown, it needs to be built all over again, and it's not something that takes 6 months or a year, it's something that could take 3 or 5 years. But if you believe in it and you think you're doing the right stuff, then you keep grafting, you stick to the plan. And, you know, some people will moan. You know, I mean, I'm getting so much criticism at the moment, like on East Side and stuff like that. I'm thinking, blimey, I'm doing the same thing that I was doing 10 months ago when some people were calling me ridiculously the saviour of boxing. Do you know what I mean? So if you believe in something and you have a plan and you have a dream, you stick to it, you don't go off the rails, you work hard at what you believe in. And I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in the fighters that we've got. I believe in the team that we've got and the team that we're going to grow. And I honestly believe I've got the greatest fighters in the world, and we can all, you know, they can all go on and achieve in a sport from different levels, world champions, you know, area champions, domestic champions. But whatever happens, we will give them the opportunity. And no other promoter at the moment is giving fighters opportunities like I'm giving them. So they all want to be part of the Matchroom team, and it's, you know, and that is flattering for us. It really is. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and give it the big one. Everyone wants to be with Matchroom. I'm absolutely flattered that we're getting a dozen phone calls every week from new fighters that want to be part of the team. We can't take them all on, and it's frustrating because I've turned down fighters that I would love to work with and love to be part of the team. But if it's going to affect the promises that I've already made, I won't go there. You know, and we're maxing out now in terms of fighters, and like I said, 1 or 2 more, and then we're done. But the fighters that are with Matchroom, you know, not call them lucky boys, but they're in a great position, a real chance to grow as fighters. And again, the opportunities that they're getting, the young lads, the FIs, the Stalkers, the Callum Smiths, the Luke Campbells, you know, they've got a platform there to box 8-10 times a year, grow as fighters, learn the sport, and at the top level guys, consistently, we've got the dates to provide them with the fights that they need.
Do you think, realistically, that you're capable of assembling a team of boxers that is as good as, or could be better than, say, Golden Boy?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, you know, obviously it's different kind of. It's a different country, so you've got a different target there. We're not targeting any American fighters, so we've got to get, you know, the best team from the UK. And when you look at our fighters that we've got already, you know, Froch, Brook, Barker, Bellew, Reese, Frampton, Groves, Selby, Campbell, Stalker, Smith, Yafai. Apologies if I've missed anyone out. Fielding, you know, so many great fighters, but so many fighters that are going to learn so much more and improve at faster rates than others. Some will improve slower than others. You know, Brian Rose, Lee Selby, you know, all these guys. Selby, I think, is going to go on to be a unified world champion. I really do. And, you know, if you think I'm mad, then sorry, but that's what I believe in. And all the fighters we've got, I believe, can achieve different levels of the sport. But can we assemble a team to rival Golden Boy? It's not about rivaling Golden Boy. It's assembling a team that can grow the game in this country. And the only way you do that is to build great fighters into big names and, you know, get them to a stage where they can have those big fights. And when they get the big chance of a big crossover fight or a unification fight, they've got to take it. And you need someone in this country to grab it by the horns in terms of a fighter who can be that big, that grows the sport to the kids. Kids need role models. Do you know what I mean? Kids need people like Luke Campbell to look at and say, wow, he's just from a working class family in Hull. He had a dream to be a boxer, went down the gym, started out as an amateur, lost his 2 fights, by the way, first 2 fights by stoppage, was told he'd never achieve anything in the game, grafted his nuts off, become the most successful amateur fighter ever in this country. European gold, World Championship silver, Olympic gold. You know, all through hard work and dedication. You know, he's a true role model, this kid, and you need people like Luke Campbell that young people can aspire to be.
Okay, you're being nice to me today. It's very uncomfortable. You've not really. I was ready for you to take the piss out of me for saying it today.
No, because it's a proud day today, you know, with Luke, because MBE Olympic gold medalist, a little bit of a hero, you know, and this is, for me, this is a major signing, because it's also, I believe, the first ever signing, or the first ever time that a gold medal Olympian has started his career on Sky Sports. And, you know, to provide that to our broadcaster is important to me. And I'm in a very sort of, you know, I'm happy, but I'm not joking. I'm not.
Didn't the Gale start his staff on it?
BBC, wasn't it? Maybe wrong. No, I don't think I was wrong. I may be wrong. I don't think so. A journalist told me that, so I can't see it as gospel. But no, but I mean, I'm chuffed to bits today. But I'm also got a 3:30 to go and sign another fighter. So.
Are you really? Is that a joke?
No, I'm just talking to another fighter. But.
Who is it?
I'm not saying. No whispering. I'm not in that mood today, Koo. We're serious. We're not here to play this week. I've got to go up to Hull tomorrow. By the way, if there's anyone in the area, 2 p.m, City Hall, come out, meet Luke Campbell. Can have an open press conference to the public. You know, I got a lot to do this week, and it's like, you know, when sometimes we have these interviews, we're relaxed and we're in a hotel, but I'm in total grafting mode at the moment. I love you, Coogie Bear. You know, you're my main man, but working head on and graft time.
Well, Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for talking to iFilm London. Just out of curiosity, your Bentley, how much does it cost to fill that up?
Are you still going?
Yeah.
You are belling.
Just answer the question. It's still running, by the way.
Can't see me.
150 tops.